Hi, everybody. I'm Ian McShane, the Troy Middle School principal. Proud to be starting our first ever virtual open house. We would certainly love to have you here at Troy Middle School, and it's one of our great nights where we get to welcome our parents and talk about our kids. But under the circumstances, we're doing the very best that we can to welcome you virtually. I'm going to start by just sharing some information about the start of the school year, particularly regarding the regulations and protocols, but also all the great work that our teachers are doing with our kids. And just introduce you to some people that are going to be important contact people for you throughout the course of the year, aside from your regular teachers. So welcome, everybody. Under the circumstances, obviously, we wish we could have you here in person, but hope you enjoy the start to our first ever virtual open house. Our administrative team, which I'm very, very proud to be a part of, they are a truly committed and hardworking. They work tirelessly, as do all of our faculty members. But this group is fantastic. We have Mrs. Sabina Donardo, who is our academic dean. Mr. Lamont Garland, who's our sixth grade principal assistant, Dr. Ken Newman, who's our seventh grade assistant principal, and Mr. Brian Matthews, who is our eighth grade principal assistant. We will have a Google Meet at the end of tonight's presentation at 8:30 so that you can ask us any questions or meet us in person. And our administrators are going to be stopping into the teams that they're most closely tied to, so you can meet them as well. But very, very proud to be a part of the Troy administrative team, Troy Middle School administrative team. Our school counselors, Mrs. Laura Stukenborg, Mrs. Sonia Shaw, Ms. Christine Padazala, they are just fantastic. They spent so much time this summer. If you only had any idea of how much time they actually spent rebuilding our schedules to accommodate for our students that are in the hybrid model and our students that are remote only. They really just did an unbelievable job of just staying focused and continuing to move forward under some challenging circumstances. So I want to give them a big shout out, and they're great contact people for you and your sons or daughters. Our mission and vision, the Troy mission statement remains the same. We are committed to providing a strong educational and social foundation to graduate all students college and career ready. And if you drop down to the bottom, together, our Troy Middle School mission statement, together, we will relentlessly pursue excellence in academics and character. And our key words there are together and relentlessly. For all of our faculty and all of our students, we want to be able to turn to every single person in this building, whether it's a colleague or if it's a student, another student in class, one of their peers, and know that that person is there to help me succeed and help support me and support each other. So together we are on that path, and relentlessly, I have to give an unbelievable amount of credit to our faculty, but also to our kids who have come in and gotten off to a great start this year. We're here to relentlessly pursue excellence in academics and character. We will not give up. We will not stop trying, and we will continue to grow day in and day out. Our teams are broken up differently this year. Last year they were purple and gold, but this year they are RPI and SAGE. So that is a change. The gold and purple has a different meaning this year. Those are the groups where you know by alphabet if your kid should be in on purple days or gold days. Those are district-wide. And for our school building, we have an RPI team and a SAGE team. And you'll be joining in by those team names after my presentation here. I want to go through some quick COVID protocols, which many of you are aware of by now, but I just thought I wanted to highlight. And I'll go through these quickly, but they're important to note just so that you know that we're taking every possible measure to keep our kids safe while they're coming to school, leaving school, and certainly while they're in school. So very, very important. Our students are entering the building at 8:15, have to wear a mask. We need to make sure that the kids are coming to school with a mask, leaving with a mask, and they're wearing one during the day. And I have to give our kids credit. They've been unbelievable to start the year. Everybody's done a great job with that mask policy. I know it's different, it's challenging, but it's necessary at the moment. And kids are understanding of that and doing a wonderful job. We're also taking temperature checks at all the doors. Before everybody walks into the building, they're having their temperature taken to make sure that they don't have a fever upon entering. So that's important to note. We have staff and administration outside at each door to assist with arrival and dismissal. We have breakfast at each door so that kids can get something to eat. We know how important it is that they have some nutrition throughout the course of the day, keep their brains and their bodies healthy. So we do have breakfast for all of our kids upon entering and at whatever door they enter into. And after that, we are not using lockers this year, so the kids are headed right to their class. And it has gone very well to start. So again, big tribute to our faculty and to our kids and families. Dismissal is similar. They're dismissing out of the doors that they entered. By now, the kids have that figured out. It took a couple days, but it was really phenomenal. By the second time the kids were here, they all knew which door they were entering. They knew where they were going at the beginning of the day. So they've done a great job with that. We have faculty and staff all over the building welcoming kids in during the transitions, making sure everybody is safe and healthy and following those social distancing protocols. And at the end of the day, we start the year by walking kids out to the buses to make sure that they're getting on the proper bus so they're getting home to you at the right time and safely. Buses are dropped off here at the middle school in the morning. At the end of the day, most of the buses are at the high school. So we do walk most of the kids over to the high school to get on the proper bus. And again, faculty, staff, and administration are out there. And a very important to note here that students will only be permitted to ride their bus. So they have to be on the proper bus on the way to school and on the way home. They will not be permitted to ride a different bus to get home. It's just important for us to keep track of everything that way. Mask, we mentioned this already, but it is critical. Have to have a mask in school, have to wear it to school, have to wear it in school and home. There is a 5-minute mask break in a 40-minute period, at least a 5-minute mask break. So I know it is challenging to wear the mask all day long, so we do have breaks built in there. If you need any information about any of these protocols and you're looking for more information, visit the Troy District webpage, troycsd.org. Hand washing, very committed to making sure our kids are washing their hands, doing everything we can to make sure that we're not spreading anything and we're staying as safe as possible so we can be here every day, opening up our school to our students. Cleaning, our custodial and maintenance staff worked tirelessly this summer to make sure everything was clean. They're still working throughout the day. You see them all over the building, cleaning all day long. And then we're doing a deep cleaning at the end of every day so that everything is sanitized. Teachers are cleaning the desks and the rooms in between periods. When new students enter, the rooms are cleaned, the desks are cleaned to make sure that we limit the amount of germs that are in those common areas. Again, troycsd.org has more of this information if you're looking for more of those guidelines and protocols. Bathrooms, different this year. We actually have students escorted to bathrooms. The teachers are putting out a sign saying that they have a student that needs to go. Our monitors have been circulating regularly. They'll pick up the student, bring him to the bathroom, and one person goes into the bathroom at a time. So that is a change this year, but again, students have been very understanding and our monitors have been doing a great job circulating, and those bathrooms are cleaned regularly throughout the course of the day. Lunch is different this year. We used to have big communal tables. We do have desks in the lunch now, and they are set up 6 feet apart. So it's important that our kids come into the lunchroom, they're seated, and we're actually bringing the lunch to them this year. So we don't have students waiting on a lunch line. We are offering them a hot or cold lunch, and they are in their seats enjoying it. They can talk to their peers. They can socialize in lunch, but the desks are up there to make sure that we keep everybody distanced properly. So that's important for everybody to know. The lunch has changed this year, but it's going very well. Kids are doing a great job. Our cafeteria staff doing an excellent job. So we're off to a great start. Student devices, a couple of important things to note here. Students need to bring a charged device every day. Very important. You can bring your own device. Just make sure that we're aware of that. As long as you can sign into your Google Meets, that works. Phones are still not permitted in the building. We're not doing the learning through a phone, but those other devices, laptops, Chromebook, MacBooks, those are all acceptable. They work. I have to give a big shout out to our tech department who last spring and this fall worked really hard to make sure all of our kids had devices, which has made the beginning of this year smooth as far as kids signing into their classes and being able to connect with their teachers through the Google Meets. So just a quick note on student devices. We know we have the different models. We have the hybrid model where kids are coming in 2 days and then learning from home for 2 days. And then we have the remote model. For our hybrid learners, it's important that you follow that proper schedule. If you're purple or gold, you come in on those purple days or the gold days. And then when you are home, you have to realize that we're taking attendance for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's important that we know where you are. It's important we know you're signed into your class. But we also need to know that you're participating in the learning. And really, COVID and the pandemic and safety measures have become the priority, but our core enterprise will always be teaching and learning. And in order for that to happen, we need to make sure that you are present. So it's important that you're signing in when you're home, sign in at the time that your class is taking place. Very, very important to us. And we'll be keeping track of that as we go throughout the school year. So again, hybrid students will need a device every day. Sign into those Google Classrooms provided by your teacher. And again, sign in your regular schedule. You're going to follow your day at home the way you would have if you were here in school. Same thing goes for our remote-only students, the students that we're not actually seeing in class. You're expected to follow your class schedule virtually every day. That's very important. We still want you guys signing in there the way you would have if you were in school. Attendance is important there too. Attendance is going to be taken daily, and we really know that for you to learn as much as we need you to learn, and to get that education that we all really truly need, we need you to be present. So we are taking attendance daily, and we'll reach out to families if we have any attendance concerns. But it's been a good start, a really good start as far as students signing in, following their schedule. We've had some bumps in the road, but we expected that, and we're working through it with our students and families, our tech department, and as a faculty. Teachers will email students with the Google Classroom information and the Google Meet information. Please make sure you're signing on. And again, make sure you have a charged device every day. Guidelines for learning at home. This is something that is important for this year. And, I can't say that we would have ever thought before last spring that we'd be creating a sheet like this, but it's been helpful to some students that have done well at home and are really excelling in that environment. But we ultimately obviously want everybody back in school, but we certainly understand those that wanted to stay home at the start of this year. But if you are home, if you're a hybrid learner and you're at home for those 2 days, or if you're a remote learner, it's important that we follow these guidelines. Please make sure you're signing on at the appropriate times. Very, very important. Sign in there, stay in your classroom, connect with your teacher, connect with your classmates. We want to make sure you're signing in at those regular times. Be prepared to participate. If you're home, we still want to check in with you to see if you are learning, what you're doing well, what you might need some help with. Mistakes is a part of learning. And making mistakes, we've got to be able to work through with you. We've got to know what you're thinking. And in order to do that, we really need to hear from you. So be prepared to participate at home the same way you would if you were in school. Muting the microphones is important. Please mute the microphones unless otherwise notified by your teacher. The devices pick up sound very clearly, and it can be challenging to listen and learn with a lot of background noise. So please make sure you mute your device at home unless your teacher says otherwise. Appropriate language and classroom behavior is critical. It's the same as if you were in school. When you're home, please make sure you're participating respectfully in those classes. School accounts are monitored regularly to ensure appropriate usage. That's important to know. And lastly, to our families, the virtual learning is really intended for our students. If you're in the house and you are hearing something in the classroom, please reach out or give us a call. We really want to keep the meets for the students so that they can connect with their teacher and the classmates. If you have a question or you want to bring something to our attention, please email the teacher, contact the grade level administrator, or call the school directly. That's important for everybody to know. If you need technology assistance, Troy Tech at troycsd.org. That's really important. They are phenomenal. They respond very quickly, and they're there to meet all your technology needs. Parent portal, we'd love all of our parents to be able to access that parent portal. It gives you great updates on how your kids are doing. The student portal is also available to students, and we really want them monitoring how they're doing as well. That's a big part of middle school, learning to keep track of how they're doing on their own, and then reaching out for assistance when needed. For more information on your parent portal, Denise Walker is the best person to contact. That's her contact information there, or your child's grade level counselor, and they'll be in the Google Meets. They'll have a Google Meet if you want to check in with them. Finally, immunizations, whether you're remote or in person, you do need to have those immunizations taken care of. And that comes from the health department. So we've got to follow what they tell us to do. So please contact the Rensselaer County Department of Health if you have any questions about that, or if you'd like to schedule an appointment. One last thing, guys, and this is a COVID protocol that we've learned. If you're experiencing any of those symptoms, the symptoms on that COVID list, then if you do go to the nurse will have you in the isolation room, and then we'll contact families. And in order to return to school, you will need a doctor's note saying that it's okay to return, a negative COVID test. And otherwise, you'll have to quarantine or stay home, not be able to come in school for a couple of weeks. So that has happened to start the year. Again, it's just trying to be as safe as possible. So I just wanted everybody to know that off the bat. It's a challenging situation, but we are all being asked to take every precaution necessary to make sure that we keep the building safe and healthy, and we're able to continue to keep the building up and running for our kids. Finally, I just want to end with a couple things. I want to thank our teachers, our faculty, our staff. They are unbelievable. I really could not say enough about how committed and how dedicated our faculty members, our teachers, our support staff, how committed they are to your students' success, to our students' success. It's not an easy situation for teachers right now, figuring out how to do school in an entirely different way. But just as we expected from our teachers, they're seeing it as an opportunity to connect with kids and to teach them differently and really effectively. So just so thankful. Our support staff, our custodial, our maintenance staff, our tech department. I mean, I could just go on and on. They've done an unbelievable job. But I also want to thank you, our families. There's been a lot of communication back and forth this summer to make sure we knew exactly what you wanted for your son or daughter to start the school year. We appreciate your patience, your understanding, and your flexibility. Just a big thank you to our families. And then most importantly, when our families and our school is connected, our kids do better. And it's important to note that. So signing off, we will, end of story, under any circumstance, which we are learning at the moment. So hope you enjoy the program, everybody. You're going to have a great time with your teachers. And just a big, big thank you to everybody for joining us for our first ever virtual open house.